Thanks for joining me again as we look back at another great classic film. This is an Australian film from the new wave of the 1970s and is considered one of the key films of the period. It is adapted from a great Australian novel that was inspired by true events, telling a powerful story of Australian Aboriginal injustice and featuring great performances from a number of important Australian actors. It is The Chant of Jimmie Blacksmith from 1978. As noted in the film's opening prologue, the story is based on the 1900 murderous rampage by Aboriginal man Jimmy Governor after he had suffered years of injustice and humiliation. These events formed the basis of Thomas Keneally's 1972 novel The Chant of Jimmie Blacksmith, and was subsequently adapted by writer-director-producer Fred Schepisi. This was Schepisi's second feature, a follow-up to the highly celebrated The Devil's Playground. The cast was a mix of white professional actors and Aboriginal amateurs that included screen veterans Ray Barrett, Jack Thompson, Ruth Cracknell, Robyn, Nevin and Arthur Dingham, as well as emerging stars Jack Charles, Tommy Lewis, Angela Punch McGregor, Ray Meagher, and features early screen appearances by Bryan Brown and John Jarrett. Tommy Lewis had been approached by Fred Schepisi's wife after being spotted while he was walking past her in Melbourne. He was cast as the central character Jimmy, despite having no acting experience at the time. The film's $1.28 million budget was raised in 3 months from a variety of sources, including the Australian Film Commission, the Victorian Film Corporation, exhibitors Hoyts, and from Schepisi himself. At the time, it was the most expensive movie ever produced in Australia. Filming began on the 8th of August 1977 and continued for 14 weeks, running through until November. It was shot in Panavision and is notable for its excellent use of the widescreen. Schepisi's original cut ran to 122 minutes, but was widely distributed in a shortened 108-minute version. It was initially given an R rating, but on appeal was reclassified with an M, opening the film up to a potentially larger audience. The film was seized and confiscated in the UK under Section 3 of the Obscene Publications Act of 1959. Roger Ebert praised the film's historical and ideological authenticity, with its story told entirely in the moral terms of 1900 Australia, also highlighting the racial attitudes from that period. Pauline Kael of The New Yorker called the use of both professional and amateur actors as a triumph of casting and coaching. When her glowing review was reprinted in an Australian Film Reader, it led local film writers to call it one of the most underestimated and overlooked films of the 1970s. Though a critical success around the world, it was commercially unsuccessful at the box office in Australia, grossing just over $1 million, but losing money due to its high promotional costs, only returning $50,000 to the producers and nothing to Fred Schepisi. Disillusioned by the film's reception, Schepisi left for Hollywood soon after, returning to Australia 10 years later to make Evil Angels. At the 1978 Australian Film Institute Awards, it received 12 nominations, winning for Best Original Music Score, Best Actress in the Lead Role for Angela Punch McGregor, and Best Actor in a Supporting Role for Ray Barrett. It was also nominated for the Palme d'Or at Cannes in 1978. It was one of 50 Australian films selected for preservation as part of the National Film and Sound Archive's Cinema Collection Restoration Project, and is one of the 1,001 movies you must see before you die. The simple but striking two-tone posters are a perfect fit for the film and have become a collector's item. It was the first of 3 consecutive Australian films to be selected for competition at Cannes, being followed by My Brilliant Career in 1979 and Breaker Morant in 1980. Lots of good reasons to watch this film. For modern audiences, it serves as an analogy for both unresolved issues of the past and the ongoing injustices faced by many Indigenous people. It's an immersive film that transports you back to the period, giving you a doomed hero you still feel compelled to cheer for. It has great performances from professional and amateur actors alike. So, what I suggest you do is that you go to our website, find our virtual screenings page, find the link to this particular film, click on it and watch it, and as always, see what you think. And we'd invite you to come back, let us know your thoughts about the film, and whether you'd recommend it for others as well. And then we're back in the not too distant future for our next classic films review. Catch you next time.